I think you would want some independence here, for one, but two, to be asking questions of the CEO about the strategy that he is employing, because it's slightly dangerous for two reasons. One is just the integrity of his comments and when he's making them and where he's making these comments, and then also the implication that perhaps he's trying to influence the strategy in some way for short sellers is not something that you want to mess with. So I think the board should be concerned, curious, and very interested in what's going on from communications perspective.
I would imagine that these initial communications that the board has with its shareholder base are going to be critical looking back. What do you think the board should be doing? What can the board do to protect itself down the line from potential litigation even against the company itself?
Yeah, you know, this is one of those things where you kind of look at it as almost a predictable surprise. When you have someone who is as loose a cannon as Elon Musk is, and given the kinds of communications he's already been having, they probably should have done something prior to this to try to mitigate some of these losses that are coming in now, but they didn't. So now that this is happening, I think you want to have a pretty stern conversation with him. I mean, some of the things that have come out today that, you know, Azealia Banks said maybe he shouldn't be tweeting while he's on acid. These are not the kind of things that you expect from a CEO of a major company who is looking to go private. And I would think it's not just the board, but the Saudi sovereign fund that would be interested in these communications, along with Goldman Sachs and Wachtell. And at some point, somebody like an adult has to come in and say, Mr. Musk, you need to be a little bit more careful about your communications.
Is the adult the SEC? What do you think of what they've done so far? I mean, I realize they like to work behind the scenes more than publicly, but you know, we have gotten hints that they have been looking into them even before these latest tweets.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is some potential for that, but as you know, our government is also filled with people who communicate in strange and fun ways. So how much they can do at this point is questionable, at least in the short term. But I mean, there are laws on the books that should already be kicking in terms of what you can and cannot say when you're anticipating this kind of a deal. So yes, they should be having conversations with them.
Your professor, Paul, Professor Argenti. So why don't you grade the board and grade Elon Musk?
Oh, wow. Okay. I would give Elon Musk a low pass in terms of his communications. And the reason I didn't fail him
what
is
does that mean, a low pass?
Is that like a C minus?
School has
That's
really
like a C minus,
evolved
yeah.
since I attended it.
That's like a C minus.
You teach at Brown?
No, I teach at Dartmouth. I'm
yes,
sorry.
I know.
It was a joke.
But I know what you're saying, too. Thank you. I'd give him a low pass because, on the one hand, he is obviously capable of creating incredible things. And so, overall, the innovation and the excitement that someone like this brings to the table is worthy of something. But the kind of craziness that goes along with it, it just barely scraping by and approaching failure. The board, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so I'm not as confident about grading them. And to tell you the truth, when you have a company like this with a founder like that, who knows what the board is really made up of and how independent they really are. You said that yourself. So I'd give them a D at best.